So Owen Lee, I hear we have some pretty big news that happened. And
True.
actually, that's a great question. Is it big news, or is it really sound like big news? It's not really any news at all. Like where do we stand with this thing?
I think it's huge news. And I'll give you a couple of reasons because this kind of consolidation and corporate purchase is a sign of optimism and growth in our industry. And we had a lot of optimism and growth in 2019, 2020, 2021. Since December 31st, 2021, we haven't had a lot of optimism and growth, but this is sure a corporate merger or purchase that is based on optimism and growth and belief in the long-term viability of the mortgage industry at a high level.
So who, in case somebody's been uh on the moon for
Living
a little,
under a rock.
under a rock somewhere, talk about what happened, and how big of is it, and what the big
Sure.
take message of this, which frankly at first glance would not be apparent.
Well, it's a huge confirmation of a new way of doing business and a technological based way of doing business. And of course, we're talking about Rocket Mortgage's purchase of Redfin, the large real estate information mortgage, little bit of real estate sales firm. Uh, Early this week, in the week that we're recording this, Rocket Mortgage purchased Redfin for 1.75 billion with a B dollars, which is a huge amount, literally 115% premium over Redfin's previous day closing on the stock market. So oftentimes when there's a corporate merger, a company might bid 20, 25, 30% premium is kind of typical. This was 115% premium and close the deal. And Rocket, obviously they're branching out, but their primary business, by far their primary revenue driver, is still their mortgage origination business. And, Redfin, with the possible exception of Zillow, is the number one possessor of real estate data from people that are going on right now. Redfin boasts 50 million monthly active users. That's 50 million. And what they're doing is these are folks that have downloaded the app, that have searched for a house, that have used the mortgage calculator, that have used the apartment search, that have used the agent search, right? 50 million a month. It's a gigantic amount of information. And of course, Rocket, very, very good at mortgage origination business. I know there's a lot of people that like to throw rocks at them. I have a lot of admiration for that company. They do things that are very smart. And, they're now going to be able to see all of that data. And they're going to be able to put their own mortgage information in front of people while they are having a need, right? If someone goes into Redfin and they look for a house at, 123 Main Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and that house costs $375,000 and they want to get 3% down, and, Rocket's going to put that mortgage option in front of them at that time
So
or
is this
very shortly thereafter.
is this bought? I know we say merger. It's probably more of a buyout is probably a better way to
It's a
say it.
purchase. Yeah, it's a straight up corporate purchase. Yep.
All right. So with this purchase like this, the reason why Rocket would do it, um, is it strictly, did they really just buy the data that Redfin has? And if that's the case, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, technically speaking, they bought the platforms, right? So the platforms produce the data. So they get both. And, the beauty of this from the Rocket point of view is, like you take the trigger leads bill or something like that. They're a big supporter of the trigger leads bill. They don't need trigger leads. right? They can see the data live. They don't need to know that somebody got their credit pulled because they get to see what they're doing 15 days before they get their credit pulled. This will make them even more
What do you mean by
early.
that?
So, when you own the platform, right? If somebody downloads the Redfin app and they search for a house or calculate a mortgage payment if they use their mortgage calculator, or search for an apartment or something like that, obviously the owner of the app, this is not at all exclusive to Redfin, the owner of the app can see that data and see those keystrokes as they're happening in real time. So Rocket will know that somebody in Orlando, Florida just searched 123 Sunshine Trail to see how many square feet and bedrooms and lot size and all that stuff. They obviously know what that house is listed for, and they can put mortgage information in front of that user, practically speaking, immediately. And it's just a way of fishing upstream, right? And so that borrower, when they go contact their local real estate agent, or they call their real estate agent and they say, hey, I think I want to look at this house this weekend. Can you show me this house? Rocket's already reaching out to them about their mortgage. So those of us that live, and I think this is a great opportunity, and I know we're going to get to this in a minute, Carl, so I'm not trying to scare anybody. I am saying pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, but I'm not trying to scare anybody. But that prospective borrower is now more likely to come to their agent already pre-approved with a relationship with Rocket Mortgage. And so that realtor that might be somebody's best referring realtor, who usually has 4 borrowers a month, right now, in September might only have 3 a month. And in September of 2026, they might only have 2 a month. So it's a huge opportunity for Rocket to get in front of them earlier.
So,
Go ahead.
So it's the general thought then is that Rocket didn't buy Redfin because Redfin's profitable and all that helps, right? But that's not the
Right.
real reason they did it. The real reason they did it is, like you said, and everybody knows, Redfin, helps people buy and sell homes, and, and they got all this data. So Rocket really bought Redfin to help them sell more mortgages by being in contact with those people ahead of time, because they're going to know 2 weeks before the average loan officer would know. They're gonna know this person's out buying a house, and so they're gonna proactively outreach to that person, call them on the phone,
That's right.
and get them pre-approved before the loan officer, even before the loan officer works at ABC Mortgage in downtown Kansas City. They don't even know that person's out looking for a house net. So Rocket's got a 2 week head start on these people. Is that kind of the basic idea behind this?
100%. Or maybe the only thing I would add to that is, or maybe a 4-week head start, or a 6-week head start, or an 8-week head start, right? Think about salmon fishing upstream, right? And people go to these rivers and fish. Well, you just have the largest bear in the forest, or, Rocket technically is the number 2 originator. They're the number 1 retail originator of loans. So you have the biggest bear in the forest sitting in the stream, pulling out salmon, right, before they get up to the fishermen. And that's the way. But what it is it's an affirmation of how they think business is going to be done in the future, right? And they think it's going to be done by using technology and, to watch what people are doing and to get in front of them sooner when they are likely to have a need, right? And so they're going to pick people off earlier in the process. So everybody that fishes downstream, like 95% of the distributed retail loan officers that might be listening to this podcast, are not adopting that kind of technology. You have Redfin and all their consumer users, and they see what they're doing. And all these people, when they're entering keystrokes, I want to search for an apartment. How much does this apartment payment? How much because it's not just real estate. Redfin has a lot of renter information too. And of course, Rocket will look to make those renters purchasers. Um, and they will come up with new ways to get in front of them sooner. And when they see those signals, every keystroke in Redfin is a signal about what somebody's thinking about doing. Rocket will get in front of them. It's actually quite brilliant when you think about it.
Sure.
And the greatest news and the greatest opportunity for all distributed retail loan officers is this technology is available to us if you're working at a place that is forward thinking about technology and is providing you a platform. There are multiple providers, multiple vendors that use this platform. You should be adopting this, and you should be adopting this today. Rocket is big and as smart and as intelligent as they are, and they are all three of those things, big, smart, and intelligent. Only has a 5% market share. And United Wholesale, who's actually a larger overall lender, not a larger retail lender, but a larger overall lender, might have 5.5% market share because they're just above Rocket. And so if you take the 20, greatest thing about this industry, if you thing I love the most, take the top 20 lenders, add them together, they have maybe 17, 18% market share. And the rest of us live in the 82%, right? So maybe with this a year from now, Rocket's at 7% market share. UWM comes out with something like this, maybe they're at 7.5%. Who knows, right? But the majority is still available. If we take advantage of technology, this is like Rocket putting a gigantic stamp of approval with a big raised seal and a big blue ribbon stamping on this as a way of doing business. And this is how it's going to be done in the future. And they're betting $1.75 billion with a B dollars this will be successful. And the rest of us have to pay attention to that, have to react to that, and can win if we adopt those same practices. It's 100% available to win, not that hard. The one other thing I will say, I'm lucky enough to be on this podcast with the guy that literally wrote the book on call reluctance, Carl White. I can promise you at Rocket Mortgage, when they get a signal from Redfin, they will make the follow-up phone call. We can talk all we want about Rocket and headset phone jockey and their people aren't trusted advisors and all that stuff. And with all due respect, I just think that's the wrong way to think about this.
Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free, cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next.
Make the calls, because we all know 79% of prospective borrowers will go with the very first loan officer that they talk to. And 92% will go with one of the first two loan officers that they talk to. Okay? So we have it within our grasp to have these technologies, to implement them, to call the people on the phone. I know most of you listen to this in the car through a podcast service or whatever. I'm holding my phone up right now. I'm putting it right next to the camera. We all have one of these. Use the phone and you can win at a very high level. And let me tell you, I know these types of leads, the propensity score, the prospective buyer score, these types of things, they generally convert at around 5 or 6%. They understand that the leads you get from realtors might convert at 20% or 30% or 40% or whatever, right? But this technology is going to get better and better and better. The AI tools used to analyze this technology and do the lead generation will get better and better and better. So it's 6% now. It might be 15% in 12 months. Develop the habit now. Ride that wave of increase from 6 to 15%. Add these things. Go from doing 4 loans a month to 7 loans a month. Create the habit now. Win at a high level. I think this is a fantastic opportunity because it shines a light on what we should be doing. And everybody that pays attention to it and adopts those habits, I think they're going to win and win at a high level. And their propensity for winning will even grow as the technology gets better and better and cheaper, which we all know it will, right?
So what I'm kind of getting out of all this is a piece of good news that's so easy to overlook is that, again, you just said it, and I'm just repeating exactly what you said. If you take the 20 biggest mortgage companies and we'll put UWM and Rocket in there, that they're only a small part of the market. Where if we said, hey, if you want to get in the soft drink business, the top three have probably 97% of the business, like Coke, Pepsi, and whoever number three is. But
That's right.
in the mortgage world, the 800-pound elephants are still, relatively speaking, mice. They're not that big compared to the rest of the market.
That's right.
So we still have 82% available. But what I'm getting out of this is the what the thought is the main reason Rocket bought Redfin was strictly to have the data of who's getting ready to buy a house so they can offer them mortgage services. And the other good news is the exact same technology they're using to do that. And they spent $1.5 billion thinking this is our single biggest opportunity right now that I know for the loan officers in my branch, we've been doing this same technology for months, if not years. It
That's
just,
right.
frankly, it just kind of turned on the light switch, goes, oh, wait, we have this thing that we use. We need to put it at the front of the, kind of front stage and shine a spotlight on it. That we need to use this technology to alert us on when somebody's getting ready to do something. And don't wait for the realtor to call us with a referral or the attorney to call us with a referral that they're getting a divorce or that the financial planner that they've got.
Accountant or yeah, yeah, yep.
All that information is available to us in this software that your company, that our
That's
company,
right.
and
That's
so we
right.
can do
And
that
the
exact
and
same thing now. And frankly, most people
100%.
are doing it.
Yeah, we do it every single day in our company. We get confirmation every single day that it works. We get applications taken every single day from this technology. And don't get me wrong, the technology is imperfect, right? It's not, I wouldn't say we're on version 1.0 with it as an industry, right? I'd say we're on version 2.0. It'll be really special, 6, 12 months down the road when they infuse a little bit more AI. There are a lot of smart people working on it right now. I'm sure Rocket's internal technology is not perfect, right? But the point is, they make the calls, right? They don't get a lead from a system like this and say, oh, this lead is flawed because of A or because of B. Yes, 100%. So technology is not perfect. It's not. There's not a technology platform out there. Is anybody's LOS who's listening to this, anybody's loan origination system perfect? Of course not. But we still use it every day, and it helps us every day, right? So you gotta embrace what's happening, and if you embrace, you will win. I'm really passionate about this stuff because I'm not a believer that artificial intelligence is gonna replace the loan officer and we're all going to go the way of travel agents and all this. I don't believe that for a second, but I wholeheartedly believe that technology will create a fewer pool, POOL, fewer pool of winners, and that those winners will win at a very high level. This kind of stuff, when adopted properly, and we have it available, and other smart IMBs have it available too, but most do not, right? You got to pay attention to what tools you have available to you, but it will help winners win more. And I know everybody who's in the Freedom Club, who's in the Mortgage Marketing Animals, they're in there because they're interested in winning, and they are winning. And this will help them win more at a higher level, and it will grow exponentially over the next 2 to 3, 4 years. And if you don't adopt it, you're going to end up working 40% harder to make 30% less, 40% less. And that algebra is not good for anybody. Go
So
ahead. Yep.
many leads a month would you say we're averaging, you and I, into like and not just in my branch, but like the company as a whole? How many leads a month do we get more or less from this predictive technology, the same exact thing that Rocket Mortgage has paid $1.5 billion to do? How many leads a month do we get? Is that okay to give that answer?
Yeah, about 400 to 500.
Uh, there's a lot of gold there.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think your point being, so there's two pieces that you have to have here. Number one, you have to have the technology so that you get the leads. And again, this is internal within the company. This is not buying leads like, from Zillow or something like that. This is company.
That's right.
These are leads slash referrals from our own database, right? This is
From
not a
your own database.
this
100%.
this is we,
100%.
we did their mortgage last time and come to find out they just put their house for sale or they're unfortunately going through a divorce or something like that. So we get notification of that. So it seems like you have to have two things in place. Number one, you have to have the technology in place so you get the information. And then part two, you got to pick up the phone, and call them, right? And offer to help
That's
them
right.
they're currently in.
So I would say two things. I mean, if any loan officer, when they join our company, we typically get this completely up and running for them in 2 to 3 weeks. You gotta pick up the phone. That is 100% true. And I would say this, Carl. I would say one other thing that I really urge everybody to think about, right? Because the number one thing I hear from a lot of distributed retail loan officers, and distributed retail is just a fancy way to say people that do old fashioned, press the flesh, face to face, belly to belly type sales, like over 100 loan officers that work with Carl and I. The thing I want you to understand is that if you don't do this, right, somebody else is doing it on your past client and referral and sphere of influence database. At least one other company, right? When you think about 150, 200, 250, 300 people in your past client database or your sphere of influence database, right? It's just pretend it's 300, right? Have any of those people downloaded Redfin? Because if they have and they use it, Rocket Mortgage will be getting in front of them aggressively. Have any of them downloaded Zillow's app or Realtor.com or any one of the at HomeBot, right? Or any one of the multiple real estate apps? Have any of them ever gone to an open house and filled out an open house I attended form for a realtor or a loan officer who are technologically advanced? Right?
Mm.
Are you the only loan officer that has ever gotten this person a loan, or have they gotten another mortgage before or after they met you? These other entities are doing this right now, and the percentage of them that are doing it and doing it well is growing. You have the power to be one of the winners. Be one of the winners. If you do nothing and process this information, think about it for a day or two, then go back to your daily life, it's going to be harder to win. Would you rather ride a bike downhill or uphill if you're trying to pick up speed? That's probably the best metaphor that I could use.
Good stuff. Hey, I see we're at the top of the hour. I know you're getting ready to hit a plane. I'm getting ready to
Yes, sir.
drive out to actually I'm getting ready to drive out to Myrtle Beach. That's where I'd love to I'm
Awesome.
a little embarrassed to tell you because I know you're working really hard this week that I'm getting ready to go to I'm heading to spring break in Myrtle Beach. So
I
that
heard they have some sunshine, some sand, and some salt water in Myrtle Beach. Is that true?
they do, and they got my future next handful of days, and then we're leaving from there. I'm home for one day, and then flying up to Michigan for our
I can't wait.
2-day event that we're having up there. which I normally would make a pitch for it, but it already filled up, so it's sold out. So I can't make a pitch for it. Hey, but
Yep,
what I can do, if you're listening to this and you're think, hey, could you tell me more about this? We'll tell it to you for free, right? Information's free. And
that's right.
how we do it, we'll tell you the technology we use. And even better, we'll tell you the scripts that we use when we call these people that, how do we convert this into actual loans? And so if you just go to getmoreloans.com, getmoreloans.com, there's no charge for this whatsoever. And in the comments section, it'll take you to a calendar where you can book an appointment, and we'll do a live Zoom call where you can take screenshots and we'll show you exactly what we're doing. Just put in the comments section, like I think there's a little question there. It says, what do you want to get out of this meeting? Just put in there, hey, I heard, Carl and Owen talking about the Redfin thing, and I'd like more information about how to do that. And that way, when we have the call, we already have all that information up on our screen and we're ready to show it to you. So getmoreloans.com. It costs absolutely nothing to get all the information, again, totally for free, nothing held back. So, anything I should have asked you today, Owen, that I didn't? You think we covered this okay?
No, I think I would urge everybody out there to act on this news, to see it as good news and opportunity, because that's what it is. And this is not meant to scare. This is not meant to frighten anybody. This is meant to kind of activate the brain in people that are interested in winning at a really high level. And we can help people do that. The technology can help people do that. And I would just urge everybody to embrace it with an open mind.
Good stuff. Getmoreloans.com. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to your family. So, Owen, I appreciate you, brother. It's always a pleasure.
Love it, Carl. Thank you so much.